What's up? A talk with Sam, S Burn. I'm here with Petit Bum. What it do?
Yes, sir.
So we getting tattooed. We talking. That's pretty much it. First thing first. I heard you tattoo. Is that right?
I do.
That's crazy. Let's say we take you back to your childhood. Around like nah, we starting this shit straight. We take you back to your fucking childhood. When is like before even tattooing? When is like the part where you know you want to like be an artist and yeah, just make whatever off art?
I think I always knew that type of thing, but it was should I start?
Yeah, for sure.
So main thing would be that I didn't know.
By the way, the machine's gonna make some sounds. Shit, that's what closer to him. I bet. But yeah, you gonna hear the sound. That's what happens when tattoos happen. So yeah. Keep going.
So yeah, I always knew about that, like that I wanted to be like an artist. Thing is, where I grew up and shit, there was just not a lot of I don't know, inspiration for me to have. Um, there's one memory that I had kind of recently, um, about when I was, I don't know, about 6 7 years old, I guess. I would take stick makeup, and I did forms on my arms with shapes and forms on my arms with the black marker.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably six,
Okay,
five,
okay. So
six,
it's
7 years
young,
old,
very still.
really, really early days. And yeah, I was just filling the shit with color and stuff. And I guess that's my first form of tattooing that I did. You'll have to up it up a bit because I'm not against it. But yeah, no, I think I always knew it was just a matter of how to get there. That was harder for me to figure out younger. But yeah, my mom's an artist too, so it was always easy for me to understand that it was doable. With seeing my mom do it every day and stuff, and she always supported me into doing it. And
She was a tattoo artist.
no, not at all. She's a painter.
Painter.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And since she's a painter, you think that not even about genetics, like watching her do her paintings, all that, you think that inspired you into just doing what you do, or
Oh,
it was
100.
just natural?
Yeah, 100%. I was doing it with her a lot of times too. I think that's where I got a lot of my motivation at first to see someone else do it, and understand what I could do with what I wanted to do, basically.
Nah, for sure. So then you go from drawing on your hands. Now we go a couple years forward. When's the first time you actually? Because at some point, I'm pretty sure, unless you really just started raw, just drawing on people. But at some point, I'm pretty sure you were practicing. Around when and how was it when the first times you started tattooing for real?
Um, I first got my first professionally done tattoo when I was 17 or 16 even, right before I turned 17. Um, my sister got her first at 16, and I don't know, at some point in my teenage years I just had this idea of when I'm gonna be 16, I'm gonna ask my mom, tell her now it's my turn. So I did that, went with the biggest thing I could imagine that would still fall into what my mom would allow me to do at that age, type of thing.
Like what?
Oh, it was just it's basically a tarot card I have on my leg, and it's just full size of my thigh.
What age again?
I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah, right before turning 17. Um, but then right after that, me and some friends started really getting into hand poke tattoos and stick and pokes, just because it was getting popular. It was still pretty low key at that age, and in the tattoo game in general. But main thing was that we didn't necessarily have the funds to get tattooed that often, especially at that age. So yeah, we started tattooing each other with the not recommended ways to tattoo at home.
Yeah, it all starts
Yeah, so a lot of people get those experience, not recommended at home, as I said, but it's all you learn, and still it brought me here. So you learn with time.
No, for sure. We're talking about stick and poke.
Yeah.
A lot of your first tattoos were with stick and pokes.
Yeah, my first tattoos were mainly stick and pokes, but then when I actually started tattooing myself, I was still doing stick and poke because that was the way I was been learning, and that's the way we've been practicing, me and my friends. And it stayed like that for a couple years. I've been doing machine for a year now, but the rest of my career, if I could say, was hand poke only.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
'Cause I've heard, and that was pretty surprising, because after seeing the tattoos, the fact that it was stick and poke,
Yeah.
if it is, apparently all of Mike Shab's tats that you did were stick and pokes.
Um, not all of them.
Okay.
Not all of them. Boclean was hand poked.
But the whole bookling was fucking hand poked.
Yeah, and like if you take out the breaks and stuff, I think we took like 2 hours and a half, 3 hours.
Yeah,
It's not
okay,
really
okay.
bad
For
at
stick
all.
and pokes, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, and it was like around. I wouldn't say the first time, but like it'd been a long time since I had done like a home session professionally, if I could say. So I went to this place. We decided to start the tattoo outside in his backyard, and then at one point I was like, "It's getting windy. We'll just like finish it inside." But yeah, it was like super relaxed, but it went super fast too. But yeah, that was hand poke.
Good. And at what point or what made you just want to be like, okay, I'm done with just stick and poke. I want to use the machine. Like,
I think it was like a matter of comfort and style. Feel like for a long time I wasn't like I was satisfied. I like what I was doing, but I had the need to like keep evolving and see what I wanted to do, what I liked to do. And at one point, like last summer, actually, I've done like I was like really booked for the whole summer, and it helped me really push my style and get comfortable with a lot of techniques I'd been practicing. Um, but at the end of summer, I got the opportunity to try machine and have it like for my own and just like have it regularly for me to practice with it. Um, but yeah, I just like when I started, it was like starting new with the same base I had, so it was refreshing and comfortable at the same time. So I just went with it, and now it's been just a year that I've been doing machine like full time, and it totally changed like the way I do things and how I explore with my stuff.
just by the way, make sure the mic still runs. Like, I don't know if it's still stuff. Okay, okay. Cause I've had a couple homies I hang with that started tattooing, and most of them at some point had like a tutor or like a mentor. Like, have you ever had like somebody you were looking up to that's like was close to you, not necessarily just off internet or whatever, like with you, like to teach you, or you just made that shit on your own? Like,
Not officially. Um, I was lucky enough to like that was kind of my motivation at that time too. I was around people that were in the tattoo scene and stuff, so that pushed me to just like go ahead and start. Um, I wouldn't say there's anyone officially that was like a mentor to me. I've definitely had some people that were like that for me at a certain point, but I've always had the attitude of just like wanting to do it myself too, and I don't know. That's how it's been working for me my whole life. Just to like do stuff, learn on my own, fail, go again, go again, and go again. And I don't know. I feel like it's the easiest way for me to like learn about new stuff and evolve.
no, for sure. And you talking about evolve?
Yeah.
Right now you're doing tattoo, but you're an artist at fucking a la base.
Yeah.
Just in general, is there any like not goal, but like thing you'd like to do once past tattooing, just as an art in general?
Yeah, a lot actually. I feel like from tattooing, it got me like enough confidence to understand that I wouldn't necessarily be doing that all my life. That like it brought me like a certain point of success where I was like, I don't know, kind of like realizing stuff that like I could get myself to a certain point and like do certain stuff on my own. Um, and yeah, basically like from getting a couple years in tattooing, like I realized that I would not be tattooing, like I would be doing something else like in a short future because I love tattooing. I want to keep tattooing all my life, but at the same time, it's like um, I feel like since I'm a kid, there's just like so much I've been wanting to explore, and like tattooing is just like an entrance for me to go to these things. You know, for
Exactly.
me
Yeah.
to like keep learning about like design, art in general, and just like, you know, you meet people along the way. You never know where you're gonna end up. So it's like, um, I don't know. I think I'm patient with that kind of stuff, and I just want to like see where it goes. You know, like just like the switch
100%.
from hand poke to machine. You know, like I
Yeah,
took
yeah,
my
yeah.
time for it to happen. Not it happened. Like I couldn't be happier. You know.
100%. And you're talking about other stuff than artists.
Yeah.
Recently, you just launched your own clothing brand.
Yep.
And how long before starting it was that like a plan? Why don't we talk more about it, like promotion, baby?
All right. Yeah. Of course. We're here for that. Um, I would say like the project Vamprich was not something I've been or considering in that manner at all. I think basically I've always been into clothing and think I have like really early childhood memories of like me just telling my mom like no, like let me take care of this shit. I'm dripping myself down. You're not choosing my pants today, mom.
A
It's
hundred
my
percent
duty.
since birth.
My duty.
You
You know?
gotta make sure you know what you're wearing.
So yeah, but then right before like turning 18 and stuff, I really got into like actual fashion and high fashion, if I could say. Um, and yeah, I started like drawing stuff on my own and started like getting in contact with like some people. Tried a little bit of photography around like fashion and stuff, but I don't know, wasn't going the way I was like planning on it. I had no real plan, I guess, and was just trying to like figure out what I was doing because I've always been in between like mediums and like exploring different mediums at the same time. Um, so as much as I was really into fashion, I was also doing music, and that was taking a lot of my time. So I like kind of stopped wanting to be in fashion um, until a bit later after I finished high school when I did a year in visual arts in college. Then I quit. Did like a year off to do shenanigans of many types, and then after that, I moved in Montreal. Went to fashion school, and I had like this idea that was just like gonna go to school, start my brand, and make shit happen. And then same thing happened where I like regained like some links with people that were actually in the fashion game, and I saw how it was going in Montreal, and at one point it was just like fuck, like this might not be for me right now, you know, like I want to be able to like make shit happen now, and I don't want to be waiting for to finish school, then after that to like do, you know, an apprenticeship or like a mentoring with like this person or this company. I just wanted to get things done, you know. And when you go to school, it's great because like you learn a lot of skills, but sometimes I feel like um it's not like precise enough for some students where
But
it's just,
exactly, it's
like,
not their goal is not necessarily almost. Well, it's just not to be
it's
precise, because you have to deal with a whole lot of fucking kids.
yeah.
You have to all teach them the same way, a way that's not too personalized, but can be generalized enough. So if you're really just not like that, you ain't gonna learn like that. So you gotta be on your own.
100%. And I feel like everybody has a different pace, especially like at that age for creatives. It's like I feel like there's other ways of guidance that could be done in that matter where it's like, what do you want to do? You know, like
Yeah.
it's not like what can we show you at this age? It's like, what do you want to do? And even if it's confusing, like the answers, I feel like they're very easy and precise most of the time. Where it's like, I've had other like students which I was studying with that were telling me, oh, like I came here to be a stylist, and I'm not learning how to be a stylist. I'm learning how to sew. I'm learning this, and that, but it's not what I'm going for, and I have to go
Exactly,
through all of
100%.
this to do this very specific thing, you know. So, um, that's where like I don't know, was like reconsidering it because I saw not necessarily how hard it was, but just saw the actual reality of it, and like got a little down from like my high hopes of like going to like high fashion and stuff like that and have a house like LVMH and stuff like that because when you actually learn about it, it's way more complicated than it seems just to have those kind of dreams towards fashion.
No, 100%. Ideas in your head can be pretty idealistic, and then you get to the point where, damn, it's way harder than I thought.
Yeah.
Then again, it's how bad you want to waste. It's not even. Sometimes it ain't even about hard work. It's the time you want to put in this. Because the time you put into something is the time you're not putting into something else. So at this, all right, well, cut it and start again. But yeah, yeah. No, 100%. Like me personal experience, I got in CJEP, wanting to go in business management. Cause fucking my own goal, my real goal, even though I didn't know what I wanted to do, I didn't want to fucking live my life working for somebody else, right? But the thing is that you're getting taught how to run a business by people who never ran a business in their life. So that's the thing when you're talking about like they're not teaching me how to be a stylist, because you're not a stylist, you're a teacher. And I can understand that you got the knowledge, but you have the experience with it.
Well, it depends.
No, 100%, 100%. I have teachers who actually own a business. I'm talking in general, but.
Yeah.
And another thing I was curious, you're talking about like some kids needed special guidance. What would have been for you like a special guidance? Like maybe a fucked up question, but think about it.
I don't know. Just like I don't know. I just feel like it should be more personal. You know, where just like see, it's big classes, it's a big school and stuff, and like not to name the school, but the school I went to, yeah, the school I went to is a private school in Montreal, downtown Montreal, which is the most known in Montreal for fashion design. But to me, I just like you feel like a number, you know, like you're there to follow like a conduct type of thing where it's like same story for everyone, and then of course at the end of the program people are taking care of you for you to get creative for real. But at the same time I feel like as a starting like student in that domain, like there was just like no one to tell me like this might not be for you, you know, like even if you really like fashion this might not be the way for you, you know. And I feel like I kind of had to do it on my own at that point. But yeah, I did like a full session. um, and then during that session I like started tattooing from home a little bit more, and now I had like better guidance, better equipment from people that was around me. So I decided to like go at it a little more in practice after school on some friends and stuff. And at one point I was just like thinking of like the outcome of me like going full time as a tattoo artist, and I realized quickly that if I was doing my stuff smartly, that I could succeed. And I just like, to me, it was like a black or white situation where it's like either I do it or I don't, because it's like you can't half-ass it, you know, and just like not go fully in it, if I could say. But yeah, so I finished my session. At the end of the session, I was just like, I told everyone, I was like, this is the end for me. I'm not gonna be in school for a while. I really want to be a tattoo artist, and please, everyone that I know, help me. We'll make it happen, you know. And can't be more grateful because 4 years later, I'm still on the same path. I've still been pushing the same ideas, you know, and evolving through that. So yeah.
No, I feel you. But at the same time, you talk about full-time tattoo artists.
Yep.
You have more goals than being tattoo artists. That's why you're saying that you don't expect tattooing forever.
Yep.
But let's say right now, got your own clothing brand and tattooing.
Yep.
What's the middle you'd say of like working on both? Because I feel like that's the thing I'm struggling. Like I'm trying to do everything, but if you, it's like somebody who tells you, you ask them what kind of music they like, or no, even more precise. I had this éthique et culture religieuse teacher that I asked her like, okay, but what religion do you believe in? And she was telling me, oh, I believe in everything. And to me, what I got is that I don't believe in nothing. So, okay, I could go back on that phrase, but whatever. The thing is that when you start to do more things, I feel like you're not 100% on your own craft. And how do you balance that? Like,
Am I about to repeat that question?
how do you balance doing multiple arts or multiple like business aspects, doing them at the same time without taking like something taken out of your time of doing whatever else you're doing?
It's a good question. I feel like it's really different for everyone depending on what you're doing, what you're mixing in with one another. To me, I'd say like they both came in clutch because it's all one and the same at a certain point. Where I'm just gonna stop for a second. But yeah, because I feel like the people I've been working with for the last couple of years, for the last 4 years since I've been doing this, I've all been like kind of one supporting what I've been doing and also like feeding what I do the same way I feel like I can feed for them too, depending what their need is, what I can provide. You know, I've been working with a lot of musical artists too, so that helped me just like the same way when I tattoo someone. It's just like I I'm helping them realize a look or an aesthetic that they're trying to go for, and my job is to bring that to them the best way I can see it for them. You know, it's a custom for them. So same thing with music covers, with stuff like that. Um, yeah. So my point is that brought me to working with Numblon, Nash, a lot of other artists where the branding Vampridge started from other people, from Numb, from Wolf. Um, we all had a moment together years ago, and well, fucking Numb could say it better than me, but yeah, at one point they just like figured like they had a particular sound that they had to push, you know. And with time, like we started working on stuff together just for visuals because that was always my force, and you know they're on the music side of things, so and they both go hand in hand. So um, yeah, at one point I was just like started making stuff for them because like we've always been like hanging out together and stuff, and it just made sense because there was certain aesthetic and vision that I think we all like agreed on and like understood without even having to like discuss it that much, you know. It's like that's why I've been working with them, they've been working with me too, because like it's an agreement at a certain point where it's like we share the same vision. But yeah, it all came in like not too long ago. I'd say like not even 2 months ago, where um, I personally wanted like a pair of jeans with a logo that we made. I'd say a couple months ago. Um, yeah, while yeah, exactly. While Slime Contre le Monde, Jeune Lou's last album, rest in peace to the brother, which is produced mainly by Numbla and engineered by him too. Um, basically we were me and Num hadn't been in touch for a while, and we saw each other to like hear the mastering and stuff. Um, and yeah, we just decided to spend the whole night in the studio, and we came up with like I think like 5 or 6 logos that were like the permanent logo, which we wanted for the branding, which could have been anything, you know, music videos, art covers, maybe clothing at that point. And then last month I took, which is my favorite, personal favorite logo of ours, and decided to make these. So, and then it went from me wanting a personal pair of jeans, making shirts for everyone, to fucking fuck it, let's make it a brand. And you know, it came in quick. Then we made samples, see how it was going. It went pretty well with the samples. Um, and then super randomly after we went to Paris to follow Shab for a tribute show for Jeune Lou in Paris, and yeah, so we decided to go see how we, you know, go show them how we moved there, and we brought some merch, we bought some of our stuff, and yeah, like it was great, like to just see how, you know, the continuation of a sound with clothing could go like as fast, you know, where people, you know, even in Paris, fucking, even if it just started, it's a vision that's understood, you know. And yeah, so to finally answer your question, I feel like the I don't know, the balance comes by itself because it's like I work all the fucking time already with tattoos, and the rest of the time I have, you know, we spend it on Vampridge. We spend it on either being together, you know, creating music, art in general. So it's just like I don't know, it's like almost like a lifestyle, you know, just like it was already like part of us, you know, this whole idea of like Vampridge and this whole like aesthetic and sound. So it just like came in clutch for us to like finally have our own fucking clothes and like show what we got, you know, because I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, but like I don't know. Personally, I've been wanting to have a clothing brand for a long time, but I always had like this idea where you know you see every brand that has like these like famous people's name, you know, like name it Louis Vuitton or like Thomas Burberry, you know, it all sounds like a you know, it sounds nice. You're buying the name, you know. And to me, it was like, what can I do for my name to sound this way? And like, it's always been a big question. So to me, just like doing Vampirich like that, and doing it collectively, all together, and that it also represents the art of like other people. That's not my personal product. It's just like, I don't know. To me, it's like it came easily because it's we're all sharing this vision. You know, it's not just me trying to put out my stuff, if I could say.
No, 100%. And the thing that's very interesting you're talking about is about everybody's putting their own vision.
Yeah.
And one thing with your business in general, not that I've studied it too much,
Go ahead.
but a little,
Yeah.
and I feel like a big part, and that's almost the best marketing, ear to ear, like you word to ear, like you hear this person did that thing. Is that's a big thing also about sponsoring. Why companies gonna sponsor this big name into getting fucking their promotions up, and just like you, like doing the thing like me that really opened my eyes that you were I've been wanting to do a podcast while I'm fucking getting tattooed.
Yeah.
When I saw you tattoo
Yeah.
Pedro 66, shout out, and yo, I knew I wanted to do one with you, but then again, like it's a bunch of names that's attached to you
Right.
for the tattoos, just like you're gonna give a bunch of people, cause you get that. Nah, okay, I'm not trying to too much do some writing or whatever, but your notoriety
Yeah.
is gonna have impact on other people getting tattooed, and vice versa. So the fact that everybody gets to have their own vision, everybody gets to come together with this, creates a fucking not an empire, but something you can grow fucking bigger than this.
Yeah.
And you were talking about music before,
Yeah.
and you've been like we were saying, like names in Montreal that pops in people's ear when you hear rap from Montreal. You've been around those names, and how bad do you think, just in general as a culture, people need to help each other with their art to just grow it bigger, or you feel like everybody gets to do their own separate thing, and we all come together at the end?
Um. No, I feel like when I was younger, I had this idea where it was like it was so hard to like meet people and like get to like, you know, you see like, as an example, when I was I don't know, in high school and stuff, I was listening to a lot of 60s music. There was that one band that was name is Velvet Underground.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Yeah, they were very close to Andy Warhol, basically. He like Andy Warhol did like the cover, which is kind of famous. It's like a banana. That's like a really famous like artwork he's done, and it's for them, for Velvet Underground, and basically they were all hanging out, you know, like that was the thing in the 60s. And I feel like in every generation where like artists hang out together, create like a community sense and create like a whole image for the viewers to like interpret the way they want, you know. So to me there was always like, I don't know, like a really cool thing, and like everybody representing their individuality together, you know, as a group, but not necessarily as an official group. Doesn't need a name, doesn't need anything, but it's just like, I feel as a viewer you have to see, you know, if you like someone's aesthetic, someone's sound. Personally, I want to know, how do they dress, you know, what's their, like, who's their entourage, what's their swag, you know, why are they doing their thing the way they're doing, you know. And I feel like all these things is all like key to like understand someone's like persona, if I could say, in the art world.
No, I feel you 100% on that. I feel like I said 100% at least 100 times. But changing changing the subject.
Yep.
We're going back to you said quickly you were doing music at some point.
Yep.
Do you still do sometimes?
Not really, no, not really. I was playing a lot of instruments when I was a teenager slash young adult, but
Instruments like what?
well, I started by playing drums when I was like 12. Then a couple years after, I went on to guitar, then keys, then bass, and just like went on. And I had a group of friends that basically did the same thing as me, so we all switch instruments and like just like explore sounds and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, keep going.
So yeah, but no, recently I haven't been doing music like that. I've been surrounded by musicians mostly, but feel like that's where I get a lot of inspiration from. Like that's always been like something I've been creating with music. I've seen my mom create with music like all my life, like painting while listening to like certain music and stuff. So,
What was she listening to?
oh my god, a lot of Bjork,
Okay.
a lot of Bjork, and the list is like endless. But a lot of Bjork, like in those like early 2000 days, I remember hearing like some Evanescence.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of French music because my mom's French.
From France?
Yeah, from France. There's like there's this movie that it's like my mom's favorite movie. It's called Amélie Poulain,
Yeah.
and like the
of course.
soundtrack is just like out of this world. Honestly, I was in Paris like recently, and I decided to listen to it, and it just like felt like unreal. Honestly, you know. But yeah, so no, I haven't been doing music like that, but I've been trying to get back at it. Might start sampling with some friends of mine. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I definitely want to start playing like instruments again and like just get back at it. And just like, I don't know, finally be able to like collab with artists I've been respecting and working with for years, you know, but in different manners. So now it's just like a matter of time until we like make something happen with that, you know.
And when you were making music, was your name also Petit Bum as a musician?
I wouldn't say as a musician, but it definitely was like my nickname
Yeah.
back then too. Yeah.
Like, let's say your music would be on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Would the artist's name be Petit Bum, or it would have been something different?
I guess it would have been something different. I don't know where I would be at this point in my musical career because I had bands basically, so it wasn't like a personal thing. It was like really like a band image thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it would be Petit Bum. Maybe, but it definitely wouldn't be my name. That's for sure. It wouldn't be my name. But I don't know. Vampirage Bum. Yeah.
What's the story behind Petit Bum?
If I remember properly, it was in high school. Um, I like started smoking cigarettes very early in my life. But then I stopped. Then I started again, like later, like a good kid. But yeah, I started smoking in like I don't know first grade of like high school, and I feel like that's where it came from, and from how I was like dressing. Also, people would just say like, "Hey, it's bum, it's bum." There was also this clip that was circulating on internet of like an old lady being really pissed at the courthouse, and she explains the story about how like some kids ran into her car with their car, and she ends by saying "Où est-ce qu'il est le petit bum?" and she's really pissed off, and to me that was just like iconic, and I feel like it's, you know, petit bum is like a mix. To me, it's like it sounds innocent, but it kind of sounds has a bad connotation, kind of because of
Petit makes it innocent a little.
makes it childish a little bit, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But the bum part, like I still say some people are like total bums, you know. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, you know, it has like different meaning for different people. A lot of Anglophones think that I talk about like an ass, like bum as ass, but it ain't it. That ain't it.
Small ass.
Yeah, but to me, it was just like why I like that name so much, just because I do be kind of bummy sometimes, but at the same time, I carry myself differently. So, Bits Bum just makes sense to me, where it's like it's a balance, you know. Especially for tattooing, you know, like you don't necessarily want to have the tattoo of a bum, but at the same time, it's like that's the style, you know. And I feel like I've with time, like without necessarily wanting to, I like kind of branded it at some point where it's like anyone could be a Petit Bum, I think, you know?
100%. What would be crazy? Let's say you start producing or whatever, and your fucking producer tag would be a sample of the video which says "Sont où les petits bums?" Whatever. Just that an idea I just had. I had a quick to clarify. Right now, I was just taking a sip of beer, and there's a lot of thing about alcohol and tattoos. Where some tattoo artists gonna tell you like, no, has have no alcohol in your blood when you're getting tattooed. Some are gonna say it's a myth. Some are gonna say, what's your take on this?
Um, my take is that you need to be really responsible when you're coming to get tattooed. With how you're feeling, how you're rested, how.
All right, took a little break. We back at it. Big question. It's not that big. What's the most fucked up story you had? Yeah, you probably had a lot. Most fucked up story you had of somebody getting tattooed by you. And by fucked up can mean anything you make it.
Um, I wouldn't say the most fucked up getting tattooed by me because I don't think I bring fucked up experiences to people.
Oh, but can people bring fucked up experience to you?
Oh, yes, they do.
That's what I'm trying to know.
Well, fuck, man. It's a good question. I feel like when I was starting, that's when it was like the most messy. Definitely, like the first tattoos. Um, fuck, man. I remember like that one's pretty bad. My friend wanted. It was like back in those that little peep days, if I could say. Um, he wanted to get the same love tattoo he had on his belly.
18?
Oh man, good question. Fuck, it was.
When did he die? He died around 2018.
2020, I think.
No. 2018, 2019.
I was in CJEP when he died.
I know my ex bitches don't seem well.
Shout out to her. So yeah, basically my friend wanted the same tattoo as Lil Pete with love on his belly, and me, good guy I am, said yes. Because he was really convinced. He was like, "That's what I want." Until to this day, man's loves the memory, if I could say. Basically, I was in a room with like way too much people, like 20 plus people, and was tattooing him on a chair like this. But I had to tattoo his belly, hand poked too, and it was yeah, it wasn't great because he was he's like an asthmatic and would like take like every 5 to 10 minutes like a break to go smoke and shit, but it's like he was having like an asthmatic reaction at the same time, so it was just like a great mess. If not, I'd say like the one thing that's like the most dramatic is just like I've had experiences where people like really overshare without me, opening the door or me knowing them like that, which I understand. It's fine because like it's a place of trust. It's a safe space too. It's normal.
Taxi driver type shit. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just open my heart to this guy right now.
Type of thing, but mixed with like your doctor for some reason, and but yeah, like it's not bad. It's just like sometimes just surprising where you get to like where people like let you know them. Get to those places where you can know them deeply, if I could say. But it's all good. It's part of the job. But yeah, sometimes I had a couple times that were wild.
you like low key a therapist when you a tattoo artist.
Yeah, kind of.
That's what I feel like sometimes. I've had like shout out to my man Alejandro who did 2 or 3 of my tattoos. Yeah, that was my therapist. Like my man been through shit. Like
Yeah, it's a good place to like open up, and like I feel like for a lot of people I've seen, it's kind of it helps you like get through certain stuff. Like I even myself, like I've got moments where I got tattooed where I was like trying to go through something or just like had this idea. It's that's one really great thing to me where it's like it doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. It's really different for everyone, and everyone has their space to like have their own experience with it. As much as it could be like nothing for them to get tattooed, as much as it could be really significant. So to me, it's like I respect both. It's been both for me too. So yeah, you definitely have to have like that kind of space and open the door for people to like I don't know. I feel like it's from the jump, just like from seeing someone's Instagram, their work, and like, it goes quickly. It's like, okay, I can trust them. Let me book, let me text them. And it's like, you come here and like, you've already made the choice to trust me, right? So it's kind of a responsibility I have where it's like I have to treat those people, with respect, the same way they come to me with respect and like, authenticity for liking my work. So yeah.
No, I feel that. And when you say people come here to trust you, have you ever like not just a little scratch on this, I like fuck up somebody's tattoo, like, or you just that guy who just been about your business?
No, no, I wouldn't say that. I don't think I've ever had those kind of cases. I think what would be the most similar to that would be people that just have issues with their skin sometimes and that have like more difficult skin to tackle. Which I don't know. To me, it's like anyone. There's not like there's no limits to tattoos where it's like if you are really about this shit, like you're gonna figure it out for anyone and any type of skin, where it's like anyone that has a need, that has like a certain like need for their own, like I think you have to respect it and be able to like have a solution, because no one's the same, and it's not everyone has like the same ability to get tattooed easily. Um, so yeah, no, I don't think I've fucked up anyone like that.
Work with Petit Petit Bum, you safe. I just remembered. Yeah,
Gotta be.
gotta be. I just remember what we were talking about before we cut alcohol and tattoos. A lot of myths, not necessarily myths. A lot of different thing. Like some people say, like, oh, you can't have no alcohol in your blood. Some people say it's a fucking myth. Just we don't want fucking drunk people while we're tattooing them. What's your take on this whole thing?
Well, to me, it's a mix of both. Well, technically, you shouldn't be drinking while you're getting tattooed. After hours having a beer or two is not gonna hurt you, but I would definitely not recommend to anyone getting like super drunk, getting tattooed before, during, or after, because they all have consequences where, you gotta. It's an open wound basically. You gotta treat it like a bobo. You gotta be careful with it. You gotta take care of yourself. Before, during, and after. So, it it is not a myth. It does affect your bloodstream and makes it thinner. It's gonna make you bleed more in most cases. Uh, some people it doesn't work like that. Gladly for them, but in most cases you shouldn't drink. Everything done in moderation is nice, but you got to be safe and like treat it, like a process where it's like if you're not prepared for it, your experience while getting it might differ the same way, for your tattoo artist, you got to make it as easy as possible for them to tattoo you. If you're coming in and you're fucked up or you haven't slept for 4 days and, been up doing whatever, like at this point, it's like, it's none of my business, but it becomes my business because if you come here and you got to deal with the skin, not just that, you got to have patience when you're getting tattooed. You got to be compliant. You got to like, we have to like do this together. And if like I'm not having an easy time to do this with you, then, it's hard for me. And at the end of the day, if those situations come to me and it makes it harder for me, it's gonna make it harder for your tattoo to be as best as possible. And my only goal is to make a tattoo in the best way I can. So yeah, I feel like it's just a responsibility for the client to like know themselves, do what they have to do, but also respect. My bad. To respect the work, respect the artist, and just like respect themselves, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's gonna have to live with your tattoo. And if you drink a lot, that your tattoo fucking bleeds until it falls out, then that's your own choice and consequences. It's on you. Um, but no, yeah, I wouldn't recommend to anyone coming and having like, couple drinks before, like, wouldn't recommend
But I'd be surprised if you would have never tattooed somebody's shit face drunk.
that. Well, today is not a good example because I'm having a beer.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like the person get.
I know, but personally, I'm not a big drinker, so I don't really like not surround myself with people that drink like that. So it's like not really a problem. But yeah, it definitely has happened when I was starting, when I was like 17, 18, where it was like, okay, let's get shit face and tattoo, you know. But that's a moment, that's like a certain spirit. And when you're considering to do stuff professionally, you really have to be on point with those kind of things. Because to me, it's like, you know, it's like you gotta treat it with the utmost respect. You know, it's something that you have for life. It's something that you know, you're gonna have to like live with forever. That it's not an easy choice, you know, and it's like it's okay for it to be taken lightly, but personally, as much as like I understand that, I don't take it lightly because it's my job, and it's my job for me to inform people properly, for them to like know how to get tattoos, you know, how to get it done in a way that maybe it's just a moment, maybe it's just like what you like at this moment, but still make the best out of it for you to like be happy for the rest of your life with it, you know. There's not a lot of things that are permanent in life, and tattoos is one of them. And I think like it deserves respect just because of that, you know.
And talk about respect. You were talking about like the other guy who was trying to get his Lil Peep tattoo, and you were like a good guy. I said yes. At what point do you see somebody come with like an idea that you're just like, bro, that shit's whack, bro? You're gonna be living with you. What's the balance of like, okay, yeah, let's do it, like you do whatever, or you're just like, yeah, it's fucking whack.
Well, I don't know. Today I kind of had this experience. There's someone I, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, 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 not with you, not with you, brother, not with you. I have, and it's just like it's an example between like others, and it's not my first time getting those, but someone texting me being like, "Oh man, like this girl really wants my name tattooed on their ass. Like, please do it." And I just like left them on red because it's like, why the fuck would I do that?
Don't ever fucking do that shit. You goofy as hell.
It's just like I understand the tattoo being a joke in some kind of ways. Like I have some tattoos that are completely stupid that I didn't think of, that I just got. Like even on my face, like this tattoo, I was honestly shit face, and it's unfortunate because it's on my fucking face. But
You regret it though.
just to say, in that situation, you know, just me being like, oh my god, I want to face that, you know, knowing the circumstance, the artist could have been like, are you sure about this? You know, is this a good idea? The same way, you know, the person that texted me today, I was like, well, sorry, but no, you know, like not today. Um, just like, I don't know, like at a certain point, it's like, it's not my choice. It's like, it's for them, but I also have the responsibility of like not wanting to carry myself like that, where it's like, I'm not the guy that like will tattoo your butt because it's funny, you know. Like I take this seriously, and it's like, I've done like one tattoo, which is like a good example of like an in between. I've tattooed like tatouage, like just like tattoo on someone, and to me that was kind of funny, you know. Like it's completely
Off white be like, R.I.P. Virgil.
yeah, type shit. But to me, it was funny, you know. It has some humor in it, and it's not that stupid that it's like, you know, it's like you don't necessarily want to get like anyone's name tattooed randomly like that, especially not if you're approaching me saying it's some chick, whatever. Like it's not the way to go about it.
Is there any way, like, let's say, you don't necessarily, you know your shit about tattoos. You feel like this like you know where the person's trying to get at, but it's not necessarily what's the best. Do you like have a talk with them and just be like, I get it, but have you thought about if we did it that way? Or like,
100%.
yeah, that's consultation. Like,
There's always like a big part of like the way I do things is that I figured out with time from working like different shops, different like places and experiences, that you have to give your clients some freedom for them to understand you, and just, you know, for both sides to like express themselves and understand them like each other at an equal point. I feel like sometimes if you just like get into someone's studio and you're like, yeah, I want this, especially for custom work, you know, it's like, oh, I would like this done, but it's like the artist might have this vision, you might have this vision, and for me, it's like you don't want confusion, you know, you don't want to like get into something that you're like not sure about. So there's always like I always leave time before the appointment for like just discussion, to like see what's their vision, what's my vision of how they approach me with their idea. And yeah, I'll always like give my 100 truths, if I could say, like, where it's like, if we're talking about, like, just for an example, someone coming to me and they want, like, they don't have any tattoos on their arms, whatever, they have a couple here and there, but they want their face tatted, their neck tattooed, their hand tattooed. I'll definitely like have that talk with them and explain to them why it's not necessarily the best choice for them, and at the end of the day, it's their choice, but it's still like, as a person that has experience with tattoos, that has tattooed a lot of people and know how you grow with tattoos, same thing. It's my responsibility to inform people and tell them how it's done, and how to be smart about their choices, and the same way goes for like placement and stuff, like, you might want it super big and like to take like all this space, but maybe it's not the best choice for you. Maybe there's like things that you can consider. Will you want like another piece beside it? Will you want to continue this part of your arm, or name it? it, Nonetheless, anywhere on the body is the same principle. What are you gonna try to do after? Are you trying to do something after? Do you want this to be the main thing? Do you want this to be, you know there's always ways to go and prepare without knowing what you're gonna do next, and I feel like that's part of my job too, to just like, let people know how it's done, and how they can like evolve through their own tattoo journey, which doesn't have to be my own experience at all, but it's like, I'm here to like help and see what they like and what I know about what they like, right? So yeah.
100%. I get that.
Can I ask a quick question? Genre, tu vois, il y a une éthique de comment tu get des tatouages. Genre, traditionally, you wouldn't get like a hand tattoo first. You
No.
wouldn't get like a face tattoo first. Like, maybe speak a bit about that. Like, selon toi, genre. Tu comprends?
Yeah, good question too.
By the way,
Yeah.
Simon, the time's good?
Yeah, we
For sure, for sure.
Um, well, there's definitely like, I like both sides of that, where it's like, how to say, um, I respect in a certain way where, it took me some time. Actually, when I was starting, there was like this mentality I had where it's like, fuck being traditional, fuck the norm, was doing hand poke. I was like, that's the fucking punk way of doing things, and that's the way I'm gonna do it. DIY, the same way I've been doing my shit since forever, and like, I wanted to learn from home by myself and like learn on top of shit and just like DIY all the way. And when I got into the tattoo scene a little more and I started learning, earlier you were asking me if there was like one person that I could have named as a mentor. There's definitely like one guy. His name is Carl Ski Tattoo. Fucking legend.
Shout out.
Shout out to the man. When I started being around him, when I was starting to tattoo, he told me a lot about like, the respect of it, if I could say, and how it's like
Les éthiques, genre.
the etiquette, and how, to each their own, but at the same time, it's like, you have to earn tattoos in a certain way, where it's like, as a tattoo artist, I'm the one to tell you that you shouldn't be the goof that gets his fucking neck tattooed like up to here, and like, or their face tattooed in first place, just to fucking show you how dedicated you are, because you're not. Basically, you're not. You're just trying to skip steps, do that. It's like, why would you get something in your face? Why would you get something in your hands if you don't even know what's the experience elsewhere? If you don't know how it is to have not one tattoo, two tattoos, like a bunch of them, see how your body evolves, like, and yeah, I feel like it just like it has to make sense, and it has to like make sense when you look, exactly, like, it needs to be coherent, and like you said, like, it needs to like have a flow, even if it's still evolving. There's ways for tattoos to, even if it's not where you're at yet, like, you see the evolution, you see how you're choosing to do stuff, and I feel like everyone has their own like principle while doing that, but and to each their own. That's what I love about it. But I feel like like you have to understand your own body, how it works for you before fucking skipping steps and being like, I'm committing to this. I'm fucking like, even for me to have face tattoos, like I was really young to get them, you know, like I'm still young, like I'm not 25 yet. But I've got those when I was like in my, you know, early 20s and shit. And it's like they're big choices, and a lot of people tell me, yeah, it makes sense for you. You're a tattoo artist. Of course it does, but at the same time it's like, do I deserve them yet? Honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I should have way more. You know, I should have way more. But you know, it's just like it makes sense to who sees. You know, so
Moi,
yeah.
moi, un autre bail, genre, pour moi, personnellement, like, I started with my hands,
Okay.
like, which is completely untraditional. Like, this is not the way you're supposed to go through this shit. But I started with my hands. I was like, bro, I was doodling on my fingers. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this looks good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after, eventually, I was like, okay, well, I'll do the whole sleeve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I started an untraditional way that people, like, I feel like
Yeah.
actual tattoo artists, they would be like, yo,
You
you're
shouldn't
out of
do that.
pocket. You're
Yeah.
out of pocket. You know what I mean? Et genre, comme, je sais pas, j'ai juste appris, puis genre, comme, people are like, oh, just black silver and shit like that. But like,
Well,
it has
it's
a functional
okay.
value, whether
Of
you like it or
course.
not.
To me, it's like it's there's no right or wrong. You know, you do things the way you want it, and at the end of the day, it's your body. You know, so you decide. And but at the same time, it's like, if I can say something good about this, is that they're really subtle too. You know, I haven't, like, I noticed them with time, but at the same time, it's like you didn't come in and it was like, oh my god, like I, you know, like,
What the fuck is this?
it's not the first thing that's catching my eye, you know? So it's like there's always a way of doing things and, you know, making things make sense with yourself, you know? But to me, it's like I'm talking about it in like a more extreme way, where it's like,
No, that's the
and
way.
especially that's the thing. It's because why I feel like why a lot of traditional artists get mad about that, if I could say, is because there's going to be those artists which know how to tattoo that don't necessarily follow those conducts, and they'll get like those traditional pieces that take space, that are fucking colorful, like flamboyant, that you're gonna
Like
see,
green,
you know?
red, yellow,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then when you come to traditional artists that actually follow those codes of conduct, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, like, who did this to you? You know, like, like, even just like an example, I have this tattoo, which is my third tattoo, if I'm not mistaken, and it's facing the exterior of my arm, which is not right. It should be facing the interior of my arm.
Exactly.
And
This is not the right way.
yeah,
Genre, comme, c'est pour moi. c'est pas
what
pour
is
les
it?
autres.
What's on top of your hand?
It's a mouth. Like,
Oh, okay.
Nah,
He asked what's on. He asked what's on. Okay. But that's what you were asking for on top of his hands.
Oh,
No, just the
Yeah,
I was just the whole image. But yeah, but just to say, like, even like this, I got it, and I went to see the artist. I was like, I want it this way. Slap this shit on my arm, and he did it. You know, which is fine. He did his job. But then when I came to other artists, and shout out Karlski once again, because he's the one that told me. He looked at this tattoo and he was like, brother. The- my brother in Christ, this is wrong. You know, this is not right. So he's like, yeah, it's facing wrong way. You know, and you know, so you can always do things for yourself, but you gotta understand these rules, if I could say, these unwritten rules by traditional artists were made in a logic way, because the body does move toward the inside, you know? So it's important for things to follow the flow of your structure and your own structure. That's why, like, I tell a lot of my clients that when we're picking.
My bad.
Oh, all good. All good.
Yeah, we good.
We Gucci.
So, yeah. I tell a lot of my clients when choosing a size, I always like print out an array of like size and stuff, just for like us to see what fits. Don't go away, man. Yeah, so I always tell my clients, we'll see together with the sizes what fits best for you, you know, and not just like for the design, but for you, because everybody's made differently. Everybody has, you know, different physiognomy, so you have to follow that. You really have to like respect that, because at the end of the day, like I was saying, all these unwritten rules are made to follow the body, to make like for it to make sense with the human body and structure. However, not however, but with whoever you're working with, whatever the size, you know, lengthwise, like widthwise of your client, it's still gonna be the same. You can adapt to anyone and anything. And I feel like there's always this like perfect option where you can find, in between you and your client for you to have the best result.
100%.
No, I feel that. And when you're talking about you having the best result and the client having his best result, me personally, how I feel like somebody should approach a tattoo artist is you know what you want, but you're still open minded because you understand that the person that tattoos you is the professional, is the person that knows more about it. So being open minded about like respecting their art at the same time of knowing what the fuck you want. That's how I see it. I don't know how you see
Yeah, it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. I feel like, well, personally, as an artist, and especially in tattoo, I feel like there's like a strain in having the ability to like really understand what your client wants while still respecting what you want to do. Um, I also think I'm lucky that a lot of my clientele comes to me with like um, almost like this carte blanche aspect of my work, where it's like I have this idea, do what you want. I've had some people come to me and be like, I want to get this spot tattooed. Do what you want. And um, yeah. So just to repeat your question. I'm not sure I'm like answering it properly.
basically it wasn't a question really. It's just my statement how I said that as a tattoo, the balance between the tattoo artist and the client should be that you come unless it's really like you don't know what the fuck you want, but you trust the artist. But usually you come with you know what you want. But at the same time, you should be open minded enough to understand that this person is an artist. It's not just a fucking robot.
Yeah. But there's one thing that I have to mention. I feel like a lot of people, um, there's a lot of mystery, and like tattooing. Like people just like want to get tattooed, but they don't know shit about it, which is totally fine. But that's why I feel like sometimes not that it makes it difficult, but that it's like confusing for clients to like know sometimes because no one works the same. But I feel like as an artist also that's like a responsibility we have to like inform them, and understanding how to get tattoos, how the process is done. um but yeah, no, it's definitely like it can definitely be confusing, especially when you're starting, like how to like deal with stuff. But the same way every client's different, the same way every artist is different, so it's just like I think it's like a lot of collaboration at one point where it's like me personally, I really want to work with my client and not just like do something for them, because at the end of the day the product is not for me, it's for them. It's for them to keep fucking forever. It's all them.
Like communication is key.
Yep.
What I mean?
100%.
Like, bro, if you never talk to your fucking client, bro, trust me, they're gonna be disappointed. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And
Surtout un bail qui dure toute sa vie, tu comprends?
no, yeah, and it can be a stressful situation for people to get tattooed. It's not necessarily always easy. So yeah, no, I feel like you, as an artist, as a tattoo artist, you have a lot of responsibility toward your client and toward their comfort. Because at the end of the day, of course, you want your experience to be good, but you're there for them. It's like a customized, personalized experience for them and not for you.
100% for the 100th time.
100.
100. One thing I was looking at while you were talking, I was still listening to you. Water sign, I will shine until I die. So you Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer?
Hey, yo. Yo.
Huh? He Cancer gang, he says. Like any good fucking Scorpio. I have a Scorpio tattoo that fucking
Yo,
says
I
it right
feel like
there.
every Scorpio got a Scorpio.
Yo, I swear, fucking Fedor.
Fedor. Yo, bro.
Does he have more than one?
Only one.
I have more than one.
Is that so?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio.
And you really into like astrology like that? You really into astrology like that, or is just like fuck it? I'm gonna put this shit for the hoes.
Well, yes and no. There's definitely like some stuff I believe in, and like certain patterns and people that you see that it's like, okay, that's like kind of
Seul by.
you see it in certain signs that, like, they act or react a certain way. But at the end of the day, I feel like everyone has the fucking power to like change themselves and how they carry themselves. So doesn't really matter to a point, but at the same time it does. It's like anything. If you believe in it, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Do you think there's any correlation between somebody like astrology and tattoos? Whether what kind of tattoos they're gonna get, how, when? Do you think there's any correlation or not at all?
Absolutely not.
Period. That's it. That's it.
Tito.
Period with a T.
Period.
Talk about tea. We don't spill our tea.
Hey, yo.
We about to come with a conclusion to this. Let's say any aspiring tattoo artist that's watching this, and with mistakes you've done in the past, shit, you wish you could go back and kind of change the way you moved. What advice would you tell that person?
Um, there's like, it's a mix of a couple things. Like, don't trust yourself too much because you can fuck up. But same time, fucking trust yourself and push yourself because that's how you learn. Um, I would say treat people kindly. Because that's a big part of the job where it's like you're without wanting it, and that doesn't mean that it has to be your job, but you're a caretaker, because people come to you wanting something that they're gonna carry on for the rest of their life. So I feel like that responsibility, speaks for itself. Where it's like, you know, take care of people, be nice.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think ego has to do with tattooing? Because like,
Ooh,
as a person,
that's a dope-
as a
That's a great
person,
question.
as a person, I do graph.
yeah.
And ego plays a big role in this shit. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, I have.
Genre, il y a des panneaux, ils se croient trop, genre, tu comprends? Genre, comme le gars, he's not all that. But, like, the fact that he thinks he's all that, like, tu vois,
Well,
c'est
to me, there's like two ways of answering that question. First, um, I discovered really early on that just like the fucking graph game, the tattoo game is fucked up. And people talk a lot and love to talk and blah blah blah, drama drama drama, but it's so fucking useless because at the end of the day you're trying to make people happy with your art, and you have to fucking make sure that your shit is on point, and do your best to make sure it's on point. So it's like, personally, I have no fucking interest in being like around people that do that and like talk shit. So I feel like early on in my career I decided not to be around, just like the tattoo game, if I could say. But I still am, I still am, because like I supported a lot of people. There's a lot of people which I admire their work around me and stuff. But I feel like it does it by itself, like if you keep pushing, you do what you have to do and show what you got, like people are still gonna respect you and stuff. It's just like I've never felt the need to be like included in like,
you don't need to.
like clicks or stuff like that,
The lane, you
I'm
know
in
what I
I'm
mean?
in my own lane, exactly. Like I'm in my own wave. I don't need to I don't need any. I feel like I've never needed anyone in the tag game to confirm certified, because like I did that on my own, I guess, in other manners.
Wild, bro. People seek fucking certification
100%.
and they look
Yeah.
for, like,
But if there's one, my second answer to your question is that to me there's something really honest about tattooing, which is like, what are you gonna put you yourself, little human, on your body to show people? And it doesn't mean that it is to show people, but what are you gonna do to like express yourself on your body forever? So to me, it's like it is kind of an ego thing at one point, but at the same time, to me, it's not, because it's like tattooing for me was like one thing that really helped me through like my own confidence and like understand how to fucking live with myself, type of thing. So, and I feel like it is for a lot of people too. So I feel like that's not very egoistic, but it can be at the same time, because it gets, like the aesthetic things get to people's head, either being clothes, fucking piercing, jewelry, fucking tattoos. It's all
There's
it.
better tattooers though. Like I'm sorry, like I seen this one dude. He like pulled up on my homie, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you because he tagged his door or some shit." And I was
Hold up. What's the link between the tags, the
no,
piercing, and the
but it's
tattoo?
like it was a tattoo shop on Sherbrooke, and like my homie tagged that shit, and he was like, he came to his house, bro, and he was like,
Shit's wild.
but like I don't know. I just feel like ego is kind of like overrated. Like,
Well,
done, bro. Like,
well, it's the thing about tattoo is that as much as like a lot of people can be doing the same style and shit, like it's a competition without being one. You know, it's a contest, but it's not.
yes,
Cause you don't have to fucking like people are gonna choose you for you at the end of the day, you know. So it's like
it's the steez that comes with it. I feel like
it's
there's
yeah now
similar attributes of skateboarding to tattooing.
yeah
So it's
now it's definitely like I feel like for a long time it was like who's skilled enough, who fucking tattoos just at all, cause it wasn't as accessible as it is now. But now like especially with like the platforms, online platforms and stuff, it's easier for people to see how you carry yourself, what's your personality, how you treat people. So it's like you're gonna choose nonetheless toward that, you know, because you have more options to see what you're gonna get. You know, it's not just like someone that knows someone or like take this phone number and call them. They tattoo, you know, like. I remember when I got my first tattoo it wasn't like that really, but kind of where it's like fuck, I live in this bullshit ass town. And it's like, what are my options? Oh, there's one tattoo shop. Let me go there. Shout out to fucking Saint Eustache. But yeah, so you go with the options you have. So yeah, that's what I did. But yeah, yeah.
Yo, that was a talk with Petit Petit Bum. Petit Petit Bum, Petit Bum.
Both.
Fuck it, that was a talk with a tattoo artist. I hope you fucked with it. A talk with Sam. We coming through with it. Take care. Be kind. Peace out.
Slap.